Hello and welcome to Star Wars Saturdays. See the background? Star Wars Saturdays is a tabletop RPG live play, and it's been going on for over a year now. Very excited. And in Star Wars Saturdays, this living campaign takes place during the original trilogy of movies. And if you don't know, that means it's basically 4, 5, and 6. We're currently in the Return of the Jedi timeline, and the only thing that is true canon is the events that we see in the movies. And I do that to make sure everybody's comfortable, because if you haven't seen the original trilogy, go see it. And why are you here? Those are my two questions for you. I assume everyone has seen the original trilogy. I find, surprisingly, there are many people who haven't. And that makes me sad. But then they can go see it. Each month, I choose a different RPG. And then we create new characters and tell their story within the huge galaxy where there are wars in the stars. And sometimes those characters recur. Sometimes those settings are reused. It's a living campaign, so we have recurring players, but we don't always have the same players because I offer this up through the RSVP service for the Gauntlet community. And the Gauntlet is this huge, vibrant community of amazing friends, aficionados, and fanatics of small press, kind of small book, independent RPGs and OSR content. And this month, in January 2019, we are playing one of my personal favorite games, Primetime Adventures. PTA is a game of television drama. Instead of using dice, it uses playing cards. And in order to facilitate that, we are running over Roll20, which is this fantastic, and you can pay to be a member, but you can also use it free. I'm a cheapskate, so I'm using it free. Yay, Roll20 and your free accounts. And so we're using Roll20. Occasionally I may screen share when we're doing some of the cards going back and forth. But I like to keep it on us because you guys are way more interesting than looking at stayed pictures and occasional cards. We are in the third session. And in Primetime Adventures, it's really built for a series, like a television series, usually a BBC style, right? You're not going to play 26 episodes of a PTA game, but we are doing in our month-to-month rotation. So it's effectively a mini series. It's like a TV event when you were a child, and there would be this like month, and every Tuesday there would be this amazing, high, like glossy on the broadcast network type deal. I realized that half of my group does no probably interest in that, and maybe didn't live through that because I don't know if Europe does that stuff. Europe, though, BBC, I love you have 10 episodes of a show, and it took us Americans forever to figure out that that's a better way to do a TV show than to have it drag on for 26. But hey, thank goodness now Netflix, like 10 to 13, dude, it's just so great to like hit it and quit it and tell a story and get out. Rambling is now ended. We are now going to introduce our protagonists, our main cast, and then all of the NPCs in this game are supporting cast, and they will be portrayed by me, the GM, known in this game as the producer, which amuses me to no end. Alejandro, can you please remind us of your character and then remind us of your issue and your impulse?
Oh, hello. Yes. Isomaish is an untrained Force user in denial. He's a rebel soldier working with, I forgot what her captain's name is.
Captain Bondo?
With Captain Bondo, who is a capitalist opportunist and sympathizer. I'm sorry, rebel sympathizer. Isolation does not believe in himself and makes every effort to uphold his views, and he's a short button, which means he's really short.
He's not a shorty walk.
Yeah,
short button. That's still pretty big.
His issue is anxiety. His impulse is impulsiveness, and that's it. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you very much, Alejandro. Horst, please remind us of the character you are playing, their issue and impulse.
So I'm playing IG-78, which is a Imperial designed assassin droid, famous for the IG-88 series that was sent by Darth Vader to capture Han Solo. But I have been reprogrammed to work for the Rebellion. And as such, IG-78 has a major identity crisis about who they are and what their purpose in life is. And the issues are doubt. Let's see, what are my issues? Being ashamed of being a merciless killer in the past. And the, what's the other label? My impulse is violence.
Yes, indeed. Cool. Thank you very much, Horst. And Joshua, please remind us of the character that you're playing.
Alrighty. Rook, it just goes by Rook, is a Wookiee previously enslaved by the Empire on Kashyyyk, but rescued and released by the Rebellion. So he is now indebted to the Rebellion in a way, and serves them by acting undercover as a Wookiee performer, and travels around with this group on this ship, picking up info, and that's kind of his undercover persona, so that he can get into places that a Wookiee maybe normally wouldn't be able to. His issue is guilt, because he is torn between loving his performing life and then feeling guilty about not serving the Rebellion as well as he could, given his debt to them. And his impulse is timidity, which kind of flashes back to his days as a slave, unfortunately.
Indeed. All right. And I know Pavel's eating off camera. So, Pavel, are you back?
I'm here.
Okay, cool. Remind us of your character, who, by the way, based on how we worked out the numbers of screen presence, which is one of the mechanics in PTA, the person who has a 3 in screen presence is their spotlight episode. So that's why I saved you till last, not because you're eating, and I wanted to give you that chance to be able to actually choke down all your food. But please, Pavel, tell us what character you're playing.
I'm playing Neil Mao. Neil Mao is our human of the group. But since he's human, he's also an Imperial spy. But shh, don't tell anyone. He has been sent here to infiltrate this rebel alliance and provide useful intel. But ever since he has begun having doubts about is the Empire really, are the Empire really the good guys? Are the rebels really the bad guys? And he's sort of going through one would call a fate crisis. Which side does he side on? We don't know yet. We know that he's trusted by the Rebellion, but he also last time met with his handler, which was witnessed by IG. So yeah, that's his issue. His issue is doubt if the Empire is really right and rebels are really wrong. His impulse is ruthless, because he used to be an ISB agent. So yeah, he used to be ruthless. He's also dishonest. Well, all of his being here is like one big lie, so he's living his lie. And I don't know, maybe we will get to see his personal set, which is gardens with a space window on our ship. And that's Anil Mao. And aesthetically looking, if you can imagine this cool guy who played the pilot in the Star Wars movie number 7. That's how I imagine him aesthetically. Even though the pilot didn't say much in this movie, but yeah, he was a cool guy.
Oh yeah, he said a lot when he was terrified and being tortured by this weird psychic alien thing. I think But he gave the name for the movie. He had the line that was the name of the movie, and that's always, I love that guy. Actually, I thought the pilot was amazing, and his little crisis of conscience, and like when he threw in all in, I was like, hell yes. Sweet. So this is the spotlight episode for Neil Mal. We're going to try to deal with his issues about doubt, and he's going to have to face down his impulses of being ruthless and dishonest. Now, at this point, this is when we do a little bit of previously on. It's where we talk about the what just happened in the previous episodes. I'll do a bit of that, but I also want to hear from you guys of highlights that from our last issue. And I'll do a quick reminder of the next time ons, just so we can seed them in, because we've been hit or miss about trying to get them in. I'm going to do you guys a favor, because as the producer, I get to do the first actual scene, and I'm going to hit one of our next time ons because it's a great way to do the teaser, because it was a perfect setup. So thank you very much, person who gave me that one. So last episode of our short mini series here, you guys were trying to escape with several Wookiees, and during the escape you were chased by Jabba's Chosen, a swoop biker gang that actually took off, and those swoops can get a bit of altitude. So that took place. Any other events, highlights from last episode that you guys want to make sure we have on the table in our little snippets of clips that are showing and previously on Archmage?
I think we definitely need to see the short action scene we had. Like, we see this our cargo shuttle, which we described as this like a shuttle with 4 wings flying through the atmosphere with like a cargo bay open, and we see like IG like shooting but not really hitting something from there. And then like Neil Mauer just like pilots like a ram something, and then there's some smash cut, and we see this other Wookiee just like being like carried in and like stunned.
Nice. Yes, that is a great scene. Any other highlight scenes that you guys have from our previous episode?
I think we need like a short little clip of the scene between Rook and IG-78, where Rook essentially says that he's not going to fight anymore and is asking IG-78 to do the same.
Yeah, the one where you had the guitar and you said maybe you don't need to make this into a gun, and played a few notes there. That was a big moment for Rook, so thank you for highlighting that. Any other previously on highlight clips? Okay, well, the one clip we should, of course, have, and we had that mention when Pavel talked about Neil Mal as a character, is the scene at the cantina in Mos Eisley where Neil Mal met with his handler, Garo Malnau, who obviously Imperial, but also in plain clothes, and IG-78 there witnessing it, and Neil Mal trying hard to like, hey, you guys need to let us go because the Archmage had been kind of impounded effectively, or was currently on lockdown up in orbit over Tatooine. And Neil Mal's trying to cut a deal saying, hey, we need to let these guys go so that I can trace them back to the source. And Garo pushing on Neil Mal saying, you know, whose side are you on? Right. So we cut now to talk quickly about the next time ons. We had one with Rook screaming "No, IG, no," and the sound of blaster fire. We have a scene at the brig with Isol saying, "Regardless, you're our best pilot." We have a scene with IG-78 and Captain Bondo looking at IG-78 as IG-78 reports that I'm misgendered, IG-78, that she witnessed Neil Mal talking to an Imperial officer. Of course, we highlight the point that the Imperial officer is in plain clothes, but then perhaps there's that, and we'll deal with that in just a moment. And then the last is Neil Mal and on a knee, holding a blaster at him and saying, "So tell me who you really are." So, you know, the Archmage coming over the Starfield, and we have the highlights of all you guys, pictures of your characters and Bondo, and we also see our Ortolan drummer, mostly because we spent so much on the costume that we have to highlight that. Moto, our wonderful Kaminoan gender fluid bartender, and a bunch of other characters of note. And then we have our teaser. And in the teaser, it is exactly the next time on of IG-78 reporting to Captain Bondo. And Bondo asks IG-78, and again, this is a teaser, so we're not going to go to cards. Instead of go to dice, I have to say go to cards. He says, 78, how do you know that this was an Imperial officer?
Can I have a time out and ask Pavel, so how do you want this to be played out? I remember that last time you were not like 100% happy about, you know, all the secrets being spilled in this episode. So it could be like a hunch of IG-78, or it could be proof, or anything in between.
Right, exactly. I'm not trying to say one person's trumping another. I'm just trying to make sure that we, in this scene, we're setting forth what's the truth of it. Is it a thing that we know, or is it a thing
exactly.
we highly suspect? So thank you for asking that, and I want to make sure Pavel has got a good buy-in, because this is his highlight, his spotlight.
Yeah, like I said, I'm more looking into figuring out what Neil Mao will choose to side on, which side will he choose on, rather than this being like, let's find the spy thing. And I don't know. So this could be like, you know, a little bit of hints, like more like why he was talking with this officer. Like, are we really sure that this was an Imperial officer? Hard for me to say, really, but yeah, I'm more interested that in him being in situations where he needs to choose whether he destroys something of the Empire, or, like, I don't know, help a rebel, and then we'll see which he will choose, rather than let's find a spy stuff.
I'm sorry, Pavel, you also said that you wanted to do something where there's a lot of planet jumping or something like that, like a lot of like a variety of different types of scenes or something like that.
Yeah, but that doesn't tie in necessarily to, like, Neil Mao story. It was just a good idea that if because we spent last episode in like a 10-minute action sequence, the entire episode, this time we can like go like with like cuts of various missions, and then seeing also others in those missions, and then seeing like Neil Mao, because then it's very easy for us to trace a scene anywhere if you are making like a jump, like a huge jumps, rather than being in like one action scene. Because yeah, that's like a idea, and that was also what we spoke at the beginning, that we want to see few places rather than stay on Tatooine for entire.
Yeah, and I'm
teaser.
looking to get us out of this during the teaser. So I guess the answer is that it's unclear if this guy's an Imperial, but maybe it's IG-78's opinion.
Yeah, so IG-78 says, well, it seems to be an official that he tried to persuade to let us go, but it might be that he has something on them, or it might be that he's in cahoots with them. I'm not sure.
Understood. We will keep an eye on our pilot, but he's served me for a while, IG-78. I want to give the guy a chance. But thank you for that information. And then the next thing we see is, of course, we've done the thing. This is the teaser, and we see the Archmage coming out of dock with the space station above Tatooine's Imperial space station, right? So, and then the Archmage kind of turns and angles, and takes off into light speed. So let's go back to our kind of scene order that we did before. I felt that was really helpful for everyone. Pavel, do you want to go first and then we'll set the order, or do you want to go last and we just set the order leading up to you?
It's such a tough question. I have to think whether I have something to do
well,
this thing about.
You never know what seeds are going to come before you. So if you have a strong impulse, why don't you just go first, and I'll set scenes after you.
Okay. So, oh my God. I wonder what is easier to start, like with the scenery or with the conflict? With the conflict, because the scenery can be matched to a conflict.
Well, while you're thinking, I'm going to set our scene order, and I'm going to do it in reverse. So, Pavel, you'll be first, and Joshua. By the way, I know I've asked it before, but do you prefer Josh or Joshua?
I prefer Joshua, but it's not a big deal.
Awesome. Joshua is what we use. So, Josh, holy crap. Seconds later, I'm such an idiot. Sorry, Joshua, you'll go second. Horst, you'll be third. And then Alejandro, you will be the fourth and not last, because that sounds bad. So, Pavel, a.k.a. Nil Mao. Do you want a character scene or a plot scene?
I would like a plot scene, because we need to like kick in what will be happening in this plot. In this episode. So I think it's a plot scene. I think everyone can be there, because we also said that this is like a rebel A team. So are all of us on this A team?
Yeah, I think so.
So in that case,
who knows how in Rook is anymore, because he doesn't have a like a blaster guitar.
Yeah, so that's up to Rook if he wants to be there. I don't know. So definitely, I don't imagine that the three others are there. I wonder who was our lead. Who was our lead rebel over here? Ship's cook, fixer, chief gunnery.
The lead rebel was Noct, the Trandoshan cargo loader pilot. I thought was likely the rebel cell leader.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just browsing for him on the.
This is an alphabetical order. I apologize. He's underneath the mysterious passenger.
Oh yes. So this is a scene. Probably we see in the background like that. This is some side room to the like engineering, and all of us are and the three of us are there. So me, IG, and Islamish. Whether the Rook is there, I don't know. It's up to you.
I think Rook should be there, because I definitely want to hit on is he all in or not. So
yeah, that would be really cool. So everyone is there, and Lieutenant Nacht is like explaining to us. This is like some our next stop will be happening. There will be some rebel op to perform, and. Yeah, and Neil is not really sure if the op is like really well. So maybe we will be like trying to break someone out from the like correction facility, or steal something, so that he can be like he can have some doubts about it, about the or maybe they want to like assassinate someone, some Imperial officer somewhere.
Oh,
that would be really cool.
Cool. So Noct kind of leads it off as you guys are in the engineering room, and I'm going to be going around to try to get an idea of what is your stance. Are you the kind of person that leans around? I imagine IG-78 doesn't lean because a robot. And Noct says, as you guys know, we're heading up the Corellian run, and on Feline there is an Imperial officer, as a commander, Stormtrooper commander. He is very specifically placed, and so if we can take down this Stormtrooper commander, then it's going to loosen their control over not only Feline but also Rhodia, and we have a cell in Rhodia that I need to make sure they have no eyes on them. So by getting everything here focused on Feline, that's going to work out with our friends in Rhodia.
But Lieutenant, like, how does it make us the good guys over here if we are going to use our enemy methods?
If you want to have some kind of honorable fight, Neil Mao, feel free. This guy has personally seen to the extermination of a number of Wookiee slaves. He looks over at you, Crook. And know that he was one of the troopers involved with the Bothans and that spy ring and taking their time.
I think Rook just lets out a low growl at that. Turns to Nil Mao and says, "Sometimes you have to bring out the big guns. We don't have to stoop to their level. We're not killing innocents."
Yes, I get it that this guy did some horrible things, but come on, we are now turning into and he like actually points at the IG. We are going to turn into like this army of them right now. Does this make us the good guys? Is this the way to win? I don't know. Undermine the supply run or something. Incriminate the guy, like.
You're getting poked right in your issue there, IG-78. What would we pan over? Of course, we don't see any emotions, but what's the reaction from IG-78 at that big, heavy accusation?
I think we see her hands turning into fists, like ready to what's it called? Retort to violence.
Good. I have put the name of the Stormtrooper commander in our NPC or a cast list. His name is Kar Zarin with an X because Star Wars. So that is now there to help remind folks. We see the name and you see it's like he's a clone trooper, right? So he's in his late 50s. He's been active for decades now. He's got a few scars. One of his eyes is cybernetic. He looks kind of badass. Maybe he should have his own series, but you know, he's part of the Empire, so he's not going to get that.
Maybe that's a good place to start drawing cards and see how it goes. I don't know.
Well, what's it about, right? Like you want to do a plot scene.
Yeah.
You're trying to resolve, do you talk them out of assassination and try to do some other action? Is that the plot? That sounds like that's what you're after, right?
Yeah, I think that would be a good plot conflict for Nima.
Okay, cool. I am going to say I want to spend... I'm going to spend...
So like, how do you want to do it, Richard? Because last time you said that you want a more personal conflict. So do you want to, like, I don't know, draw cards against all of us? Or, like, do we, like, pick sides on this? Like, how do you want to... What will be the resolution? Or only I'm drawing cards and we just go for... Because I'm really curious if IG will be, like, triggered and, I don't know, punch me or something. Like, I really want to see it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, but the thing is... I don't think that IG-78 would be opposed to not killing the guy. I mean, there's no conflict. If you want to talk IG out of the thing, well, I'm all for it.
Yeah, it's like you went after her pain point, but you're making a point that she wants to agree with. And it sounds like might be a thing that Rook has mixed feelings about. Wow, so are you in a way speaking for everybody? Oh, what about ISIL though?
So after the what's the guy's name, that the leader?
Lieutenant Noct.
Yeah. After Noct looked at ISIL about the Bothans, he kind of got nervous and kind of shrank down a little bit and started getting all fidgety or whatever. then there was this kind of interpersonal exchange, and then finally Iso looks up and puts his hand on Nil's shoulder and says, we can't, you're right, we shouldn't be stooping down to their levels. But sometimes it's the only tactic we have is the this sneaking around. However, maybe and he's got his hand on your shoulder and he's maybe Nil has a point. Maybe we should be making it clear that the rebels are taking this stance so that the Empire can see us as a threat, but also so that the people down on the planet or this region, I don't know how you categorize that, Richard, know that the Rebels Alliance is backing them, and perhaps they can we can encourage a revolt, like a mass revolt on the planet. That's a great idea, Nil. I think you made a great suggestion there. We should just take them out with this big show of force, not sneaking about. That's a good idea, Nil. I don't know if my suggestion made sense there, because
It did. It sounds like you're supporting Nil Mal.
I'm supporting him, but not in this sneaky thing, but like overt attack, which I think kind of contradicts Nil. So
yeah, completely. You just go like, let's blow a bomb over there.
So let's have, and just for how we're going to try to resolve the conflict, I think we're going to have two sides, which is go with Nil Mal's plan, or go with Nil Mal's plan to try to do it differently than you've been ordered, versus Noct saying, you got to do it this way. Sound fair?
But wait, wasn't Nil Mal's plan to try to kind of get out of doing it, like to not kill this guy?
Yes.
Right. So my suggestion is uber contradictory of Nil's plan. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Just want to make sure I was on the right.
Yep.
All right. So I'm spending 4 to get a total of 5 cards. And remember, you guys can all spend fan mail to give on either side of the conflict here. So I got my 5 cards. You're looking for reds and high card. Oh, you guys, I'm so excited. All right. So Nil Mal, you have screen presence 3, so you're automatically getting 3. What else? Do you have any edges or connections that you think apply here?
Wow. Yeah. For fun's sake, because I never interacted with Annie-Ann, I think we see like Neil just like shake his head over like what Aisel said, and he just like turns to Annie-Ann. Come on, back me up. It's like we are going to like assassinate the guy and then like blow stuff up. Come on, side with me on this one. So yeah, I'm going to call in my connection to Annie-Ann, and then we like actually see her like come out from, I don't know, stand from the couch or something and like join the meeting.
Yeah, cool. Before she was just working on other stuff, barely paying attention. I love it.
And I'm going to spend 1 on fan mail, so
okay,
4 normal cards and 1 extra.
5 cards. All right, and your 5th card, tell me if it's a red. I've dealt you your cards. Anyone spending fan mail to throw either way?
I'll spend a fan mail to go on Noct's side because I want to see us get forced down that road.
Hey, good. I will deal you that one card. Any other spent, or shall we start revealing cards? I hear a hand. I see a hand. Alejandro, you spinning one? Okay. So I will deal you a card as well. You're spinning it from fan mail, so tell me if it is red.
I'm sorry. It took me a minute to get my.
Oh, I thought you were saying one. You were saying, give me a minute. Sorry.
That was my thumbs up going, go for it. Like, I don't need a card, so.
Okay, good. All right, let's reveal cards. I have got a jack, which is not red, a queen, which is not red, a 4, which is not red, but then I have a queen of diamonds and an ace of hearts. So good, juicy cards. All right, it looks like Rook, you were throwing in for me, so that gives me a 3rd red.
And since it's fan mail, that will go back in the pool, right?
Yep, it goes back into the pool. Thank you for that. I will increase my producer budget back to 24. Make sure I did that right. Nope, I didn't. All right. So it is Ace of Spades and Ace of Hearts for highest card. Unfortunately, Ace of Hearts, H, because we go with the first letter, is a fail. So how does the scene go? Do you have more red cards? Do you have more red cards than the producer? Nope. Is your highest card higher than the producer's? Nope. So it is a no and with the plot, you don't get what you want, which means, oh, you don't? They're down by producer's budget. Let me move them. They're a little more visible. They're at the bottom of the screen. Alejandro, you see them now? All right, cool. I'm going to move those back over by the deck again now. Cool. And so you don't get what you want, which Lieutenant knocked. His order is going to supersede, and your impulse is provoked. So the way that this goes, there's a bit, everybody kind of argues for points, and Nox says, I appreciate that all of you think that this is some kind of democracy, but you are part of a rebel cell, and sometimes you get a poodoo sandwich, you just gotta suck it up and eat it. This Stormtrooper commander is dying by hook or by crook. You guys are gonna make it happen. And with that, he kind of dismisses and he will walk out. And Ani is there, as are the rest of you guys. What do you do now?
Yeah, I think we see like Neil Mao just like with his like shoulders like lowered, and he says, "Yeah, of course, yeah, let's do it. However, the High Counselor demands, and yeah, let's follow the Imperial way." And then I think he leaves as well. How can I easily trigger my impulse?
Your impulse is being ruthless or dishonest.
Yeah, I kind of want to say that. We like cut to like maybe a moment later in Niels Mao's quarters as he like prepares some subspace message, and he just like sends it in. So like assassination on the commander Kark Saran, like soon. So my interpretation is that his impulse was like he pretend to agree, but he actually just like lets them know that we are coming. Is that fine?
Yeah, that's great. Oh, that's terrible. I love it. Sweet. So let's do that. I think we end scene there. Like we could probably hover around and see other people's reactions, but I think we got their reactions from the way you supported or didn't support Neil Mao's plan. If that's good. So now we go in our scene order, and I'm just going to put that in the thing. So I'm going to go our scene order so you guys all have access to look at that, I'm putting in the chat in Roll20. Sorry, just take me a sec. So it is Rook scene. What would you like, Rook? Character scene or plot scene?
I'm thinking of a little bit of a flashback.
Ooh,
where
fun.
where we see the Rebel Cell, Nil Mao specifically, along with Rook probably, rescuing Anani, and that's how she joined the group essentially. So I kind of want to see Pavel's reaction and how Nil Mao handles like meeting Anani for the first time.
Cool. So we have this scene. The question isn't does she get rescued? The question that you're putting is how does Nil Mao react to her having been rescued? To make sure I understand what our question.
Yeah, I think so. Since they have that connection, I kind of want to see a scene with them, and I feel
I like
that.
it too. I like it too. Yeah, it's like she backs him, and then now we're going to find out a little bit more about why she ride or die with Nil Mao. Cool. So then is this is a character scene then? Sounds
I think
like
so. Yeah.
Good deal. Are you imagining that that she was broken out of some kind of imperial facility, or was she
Yes, I
enslaved?
think it. I think the Empire needs to be involved, right? Like, so we can touch on that too. So maybe, oh heck, let's just do the scene from Rogue One where we're breaking her out of a convoy,
Oh yeah,
like a prisoner convoy.
They stole that from us, obviously.
Yes.
Love it. I think that's great. So it's one of those where she's in shackles with a couple of others, and there's this huge gigantic wheel thing moving through this desolate landscape that is the spice mines of not spice mines, the castle, but like some kind of spice mines. And then there's a couple of explosions, and the door pops open, and the 6 folks who are in there, all prisoners, all despicable, hated by the Empire, problems to society, including this very attractive Twi'lek girl who's too much trouble to be made into a dancing slave. And she looks up and sees you, Nil Mao. And she peers and says, What's going on here?
You Ani, yes?
Yeah, Anani. Who are you?
I'm Neil. We were sent here to get you back. So yeah, just like let me like cut you free from this like bindings. Come on, we have some super bikes. We have some swoop bikes. Let's come on before the TIE fighters come.
Sweet. So she runs and she gets on the bike with you. And where do we see Rook? What part of the plan was he?
I think and I don't know if we need to get into like the details of where everyone else is, but I think we're like supporting, like on the swoop bikes, providing coverage, kind of scouting ahead a little bit, making sure that if Imperial troops come up, like we can let Nil Mao know. And so Rook's probably on his bike, like his swoop bike, near where they're talking, like, Nil, get her out of there. Come on, hurry up. We don't have all day.
Sweet. You two are riding, and she leans up so she can talk into your ear. Why would you come after a Twi'lek? Why me? Sorry, I'm asking all the hard questions.
I don't know, like Yeah, I think Neil says. Neil just like looks at her, and he looks like, I don't know. I'm just the doer, but the way you look, I wouldn't mind like just rescuing you for if they just tell me to rescue you. Like, does there have to be some reasons?
She'll she laughs at that and probably leans her head against you, and imagine there's a moment or two of her just breathing the free air. Where do you end up taking her? I mean, do you end up in some place where you guys have to wait to be picked up?
I don't know. Ask Joshua. It's his scene.
I was kind of wondering if maybe there's like, I kind of want to put Neil in a situation where he has to choose between like
there we go.
Stormtrooper and
absolutely,
Omni.
So you guys are taking off on your swoop, and a couple of Imperial speeder bikes are coming after you, and Anani doesn't have a blaster, so she calls out, "Hey, Imp's coming up on our 6."
I'm sorry. Do you want to push me into like what? Into saying?
I want to see if in this history, if you were willing to take down stormtroopers to protect your cover and to help her escape, or if there was another method that you used here. Does it sound good?
Yeah. Cool. So I think I won't decide it now. The cards have to decide like that. How does Neil react to this? So
okay,
because I don't know.
Sweet. I want to trigger your impulse, and this is a character scene, so I'm going to spend 4 out of my budget. So I'm moving that over to, and I will get myself 5 cards. How many do you get?
This is some swoop bike race.
Yeah.
So I'm going to call in on my edge as an Imperial Starfighter pilot to get 4. And I will spend another fan mail.
So a total of 5?
Yes.
Let me know if that 5th card is red. And here we go.
Wait, -1. Okay, no. No, it's again black.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to grab all my cards. I have a total of 3 reds, jack high. And it looks like you've got 2 reds, ace high. So, do you have more red cards than the producer? No. Is your highest card higher than the producer? Yes. You get a no, but on a character scene, you give into your impulse. But there's a silver lining.
Isn't silver lining? Silver lining would. What does it mean? Like that, but something good comes out of it? Like,
yeah, you give into your impulse of being duplicitous and sneaky, but there's a silver lining. Silver lining could easily be this is how she grew to be your close ally and contact. And
okay, yeah. So we see like Neil just for a second, like thinking that, oh man, I'm an Imperial officer. Like I shouldn't be killing the stormtroopers of the Empire. But then we see those like stormtroopers coming on the bikes, and they they have like different helmets. The speeder bikers, yes, than the standard stormtroopers. So we totally see I think they have like some tubes over here or something. So yeah, we totally like see them coming, some speeder bike fight, and yeah, and just like Niels like goes in, he just like, yeah, they have a blaster, and just like hands a blaster to like Anani. She starts shooting. He like does some like crazy flying. Maybe we see like a large tree. And he just like put his bike to go like 180, no, a 360-degree like turning in the air to get behind one of the stormtroopers. And yeah, and we totally like blow them up, and I suppose something else explodes as well. I'm not really sure what. Maybe we hit like some civilian building on the way.
Okay, cool.
And yeah, and we like see Neil just like having some thought about this, but then he reminds himself that those are just like some poor citizens of the Empire, and we are doing them. And in the long run, he will be doing the Empire justice. So those are just some meaner people who can die. And yeah,
it's pretty ruthless. Okay, nice. And I think the silver lining is that you've gained her admiration, and she even takes a little bit of delight in taking down a few Imperials because she's got a beef, seeing as how they were going to enslave her.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, and to follow up on this, I guess the silver lining is that like we have like a scene like this evening, and we see both of them in their quarters, like both of them naked, and then just like fades to black. Like,
nice, cool. I like it. Anybody else? I think that's good. That scene, right? Yeah, we fade to black, so that's scene. Go to IG-78. Do you like a character or?
It will be a plot scene because obviously I want the assassination to take place. And I think present will be IG-78, Neil Mao, and Isel. So I imagine that Isel probably flew us in on some kind of I'm not sure which episode it is, to be honest. Probably the last official one where they were shooting over that chasm. You know what I mean? So the three of us, we are a bit higher up, and on the other side is a. Was there any detail about where we would find the commander?
I was light on detail, but I can add some detail if you would.
Nah, it is okay. It is probably maybe it's some kind of rallying of the troops. So we see in typical Star Troop fashion in the rows of stormtroopers, the commander on some kind of podium, and the three of us then maybe on a building some ways away. If it's fine with Pavel, Neil Mao has the sniper gun, and IG-78 is next to him, and then we see Asel's ship in the background, and I don't know what Asel is doing, maybe leaning against the ship, and so I think we open up with a shot of the commander through the what's it called? Yeah, through the scope.
Crosshairs of the scope.
Yeah.
Yes. That sounds good.
And we hear IG-78 saying, "So, the well-being of the few, no, the well-being of the many is worth more than that of the few, I guess."
Yeah, and Neil just like we see his like shot from the other side, so we see his like huge eye in the scope, and he says, "Yeah, like whatever, IG, like why am I this with the sniper rifle? You are like experienced and programmed to this."
Yes, but I'm working against my program. Speaking of which, what is your program? I saw you in the cantina talking to that civilian, making air quotes that you can't see.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious. Have you reprogrammed yourself as well?
Just talking to some corrupt people. Do you think that the rebellion always survives, but by always like a sheer luck and escaping the empire? There are plenty of corrupt people in the empire. Drop them some credits, or I don't know, tell them that you will help their loved ones who, for whatever reason, and they are willing to help you. Do you think that the rebellion? He's totally flat lying. Do you think that the rebellion survives on like a pure luck to avoid the empire?
And IG-78 says, completely oblivious of your lying, obviously, because she can't read people. And she says, well, we will see where your loyalty lies now, don't we?
Oh, that's the conflict, right? You got the finger on the trigger. You got the Stormtrooper commander who's watching over all this. Maybe he's on one of those like high tanks that just hovers over, and there's a bit of a military parade going on. This is your moment because they've called everybody in to be on the parade. That's why you guys are able to sneak into the perimeter.
Cool, perfect. So yeah, I guess for me it's whether Neil pulls the trigger or gives the rifle to pull to someone else.
Yeah, you could shoot and then try to miss or something.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. Missing would be pretty terrible right now.
Yeah. That's a really cool thing. Does he willingly miss? Like, yeah, if I lose, it means he goes the Empire way, so he doesn't shoot the guy. If I win, he shoots the guy. That's pretty cool.
I like it.
I also want. I mean, Isel, you're also in the scene, Alejandro. Do you say anything to, push him in the one direction or the other?
So Isel knows that Nil's real plan is to make this huge show of Imperial, the destruction of the Imperials.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not sure how he's not sure how Nil's gonna play this out right now. So he's just like watching, like kind of anxiously, just trying to see how this is gonna play out. So
nice. You're kind of the sub for the audience. I like that. I am going to, and again, this was a plot scene, so please do keep that in mind. I'm going to spend 3 right now. I'm going to spend 3 out of my budget. Oh, that plus thing is really dope, by the way. I just want to say. Really like that. I get 4 total cards.
I'm spending all my fan mail to see Neil Mao fail.
How much is your fan mail are you spending then?
2.
2? Okay. I almost gave you 5 cards by accident. There you go.
So who is drawing cards? Like,
I'm going against you, so you get your screen presence of 3 plus how many?
I have to say that I'm not sure if we are playing this right, honestly.
Okay.
Because this is the first scene where only I draw the cards. I know that it's my spotlight, but it can be only me the entire episode.
Okay. So, but the conflict is very pointedly about your decision right now.
It's only the second scene.
Yeah. We set this up specifically for you to deal with your issue, and then the follow is probably going to be the remainders, but we're definitely going to swivel some of the focus around to other folks.
Cool. Yeah, I'm going to like spend 1 fan mail, so I get 3+1.
3 plus 1, so a total of 4. All right.
Yeah.
And real quick, Alejandro and Joshua, are either of you spinning any fan mail on either side? Nope.
One.
Okay, one for you. Coming right up, Brooke.
Because, for example, like, I'm like really curious also. I'm not sure if this should be this scene or maybe this should be like personal ISIL scene, but I'm like really also curious if ISIL, because his issue is like anxiety, you want to like prove yourself. So I'm really curious, for example, to see if he goes and blows up something even without a direct order. Or I don't know, like this can also be like part of the scene.
You're reading my mind. I'm seeing that as part of my scene, and I think that this is actually kind of feeding into my scene a little bit. So
perfect.
Yeah.
Good.
Cool. So Rich, you get one budget back from me.
Yay me. I'm back up to 18. Woo! All right.
Let's hope all the odds are with me. I got 4 reds.
Well, I've got 2 reds, but I haven't looked at the cards from IG78. Oh, I'll need to deal a new one for that Joker. Was that a G78? That was... You got the...
Yeah, Joker, I got 2 reds, but one was a Joker.
Okay, let me deal you another card because the Joker doesn't count, and I could not for the life of me figure out how to make it go away.
So it means you're getting more budget back.
Yep, I got one more budget back. Blah, blah. All right, it looks like you have more red cards because with IG78 throwing in, looks like Joshua, your card didn't do much. It looks good. So you've got 4 reds. We have 3, so you have more cards than the producer. Do you have more red cards than the producer? Yes. Is your highest card higher than the producer's? No. You get a yes, but, and this was a plot scene. So yes, you get what you want, but your impulse is provoked.
Oh man, it's the best result ever.
I know. Yay, cards, way to help us.
So yeah. So I guess So do you want to say what happens, or do I?
You tell me, and I will yes and with you. I'm really curious how you see this going.
Yeah. So I guess as IG says, we will see which side you are on. We see actually the scope was at the podium where the crosser were at the podium where Commander Carr is standing, but then he just adjust and shoots a perfect headshot, flies in, takes him out, and we see a slight panic. We see all the Stormtroopers confused, but then we see Neil just like a trained sniper readjust to another target on the podium, fires another one, fires. People started running, and he just keeps firing, and we get to the scene where we see the battery is out, and it ejects, but he still pulls the trigger, and then totally angry, just pushes the rifle into IG's hand and says, "Any doubts now?" And he starts beelining toward the ship or whatever we came from.
That is awesome. That is great. Yeah, and you guys are headed towards the Acolyte Runner, right? Because we're just going to reuse that piece of the set. IG78, it is your scene. What do you want? Cool. So while Horst is thinking over things, I just want to give you guys the heads up. Feline, which is of course where you guys were.
That was my scene. Sorry, Rich.
Oh, you're right.
I was confused.
Okay, yeah, I confused myself. Wow, we're 3 scenes in. This is so good, and for some reason my brain jumped out of order. So it'll be Alejandro's scene. So it is Isil's scene. Feline, by the way, is just a heads up, is has a bunch of jungles and vast plains and icy mountains. It's a very green planet. So I'm imagining that you guys making this attack, there's this huge open plain where the stormtroopers were. You guys were surrounded by some like jungles, and then we had the assassination of the stormtrooper commander. So Isil, it is your turn. As now that someone's reminded me of keeping turns correctly. What would you like, a character scene or a plot scene?
I think this is a character scene.
Okay.
So I see this kind of like little it starts out with a like little vignette where Isil is actually getting like different types of explosives and that kind of stuff, and then he comes up to Pavel, I'm sorry, to Nil, and he opens up this little, this little screen, and he starts going, okay, so I love your idea, and you're right. So yeah, so he's like, you're right to that we do need to make a big show of this. So he starts showing. So do they have like a Star Destroyer? What do they have up above in the sky, like in space? That's their command ship or whatever.
I mean, let's go Star Destroyer, right? Just go for the money shot.
Okay.
It's not a super Star Destroyer.
It's a tiny one. It's a baby Star Destroyer. So I don't know if this is even reasonable, but I want to set up a scene where, in support of Nil's plan to do like a big show of rebel force, where where we're actually going to like blow up the Star Destroyer or do. I mean, that might be too huge of a goal for this episode or for this TV series. But where there's a huge sign that the Empire is being taken out. Like what he did was great, but I wanted to like add to that. So I'm showing where. Okay. So it's not the Star Destroyer. It's where the parade is being held. There are like turrets, like turrets and other kind of like structures of intimidation there. And knowing, obviously, we knew about the parade. I go to Nil and I show him where all the like weaknesses are. That like if we apply explosives in these areas right here, we're gonna definitely it'll like take out the whole command structure for the whole planet, like giving an opening for this the people of this planet to have a huge show of like open rebellion, like on the planet against the Empire. Does that make sense?
Cool. So you've designed some way to not only take down several Imperial fortified like military placements, but to do it in a way that looks like there's an organized resistance happening on Feline that will draw a significant amount of attention to from the Empire. And you're presenting that to Nil Mao?
Nil Mao, yeah. Okay. Because it was his idea, and Isil's really like in support of Nil's idea to go big or go home.
Wow. All right. So is this a thing where are we indicating that this is after the Stormtrooper commander is assassinated before you guys move on from Feline thing? Or was this
I feel like this is happening before we actually go to assassinate the commander. And so after...
So I'm sorry. Let me restate. I feel like it should follow, even though it could have been a planning session, it should follow because we've already kind of hit the impulse and he gave in and just murdered the commander and a bunch of others. So
yeah,
I like the idea of setting up, like, are you going to go further? So let's have it time-wise happen.
That's good. Sure. Yeah. Yeah, we're okay. So
just a suggestion for cinematography. Is way to present it on the screen. Maybe we see Isel standing with like a detonator, and his finger almost on it, and then we see Isel thinking about how he was talking with Neil, and I don't know. The conflict is whether you pull the trigger and kill like hundreds of people, Imperials or not. I guess that's it or not.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Wow. All right. That is pretty intense. So you are overlooking maybe one of the capital city of Feline, which is called Feline City, and because it's Star Wars and that's what they do all the freaking time. So yeah, or Feline Throne is the name of the capital. I apologize. It's so different. But anyway, you've got it. You see several points highlighted on your little view display of where this chain reaction of explosions will take place. You're gonna go further?
Yeah, I suppose as you are showing this to Neil is just like, you can see on his face that he's like almost in like a shock state, and he just says, Isel, I never said about going like a big bang. This is like total overkill. You're going to kill like, I don't know, hundreds of them. This is why in every like major city they call us the terrorists, and because we are blowing stuff up. Like, you're trying too hard. You're already with us. You don't have to like go over the board with the orders. The orders were kill one guy, destabilize the situation.
Yeah, but weren't you the one that was suggesting that we need to really demonstrate who we are? I mean, look at all these enslaved people here. They have. This is where the Bothans and the Wookiees and I don't understand how you're turning your. Are you testing me?
I never said to go for like a major explosion. I said to, instead of murdering the guy and playing into the terrorist theme, to just like, I don't know, destroy their warehouse or something. Like, but I never said to blow up like the middle of the city.
Yeah, but if you remember, this would just be because of the parade. It's just going to be taking out Imperials. There's no civilians in these structures. Don't you remember the planning? All the planning I put into this.
Yeah, and he's like captured that. Yeah, and Neil thinks about it. Like, you got him with like a answer that only the Imperial will be murdered. But he just like grabs the first thing that comes to his mind. Yeah, but what if someone just goes there, like an innocent person, like even one? It will be on your conscience.
I think that's our conflict, right? Is the conflict, does Isel back down? It seems like, right? And if we can just point it at somebody else, and he's pushing on Isel's anxiety.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So let's do that. Let's do that. I really want you guys to blow up a bunch of people on Feline and be terrible rebels. So I'm gonna spend out of my 19. I'm spending 4. No, actually, I'm looking at time. It's halfway point. Started with that. Yeah, I'm spinning 4. All right, there we go. I get 5 cards. You get screen presence normally of 1. Do you have any assets that you're using here? Edges or connections, Isel?
Rebel soldier.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't see anything else coming in.
Spending any fan mail?
I'm spending 2 fan mail.
All right. Remember these last 2 cards. If they are red, let me know.
Yeah.
And I'm going to spend 2 fan mail in favor of Isol having his way as well. So just so we are clear. So if Isol wins, he gets his way, so he blows stuff up. Yes, just so we are clear. If Isol wins with the red cards.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's how I see it.
Cool. So I'm spending 2 fan mail in your favor.
Okay. The cards are yours. Did you have any red cards, Neil Mal?
1.
All right. I get to increase my budget again. Back to 16, my friend. Oh, so delicious. Was your last 2 cards Isol or either of them red?
1.
All right. I get to go up again. All right. I think you're going to get what you want here, because I got 1 pitiful red card. But a king of clubs.
Yes, this card.
Oh, you got an ace too. Oh man, Isol, look at you. Okay, so this was set up as a character scene. So you get a yes and you resist your impulse and everything goes your way. So what does this look like?
So he's listening to Isol's listening to Nil, everything that Nil says, and then Nil like starts walking, but like, because I'm like leaning up against the ship, or I'm right by the ship, and Nil just like gets into the ship, and then IG 78, you were probably already in the ship, and like Isol is like totally torn and confused, and is just really pausing for almost too long, and he realizes that this was a test, that Nil was testing him, and because in his mind we totally planned this together, even though it was probably me just showing you something real quick, and you're like, okay, whatever. And he hits the button. He's like,
Sweet, and we see, and yeah, there's this series of explosions, and the comm chatter starts going crazy, and I think Anani just lets out a big whoop of excitement and towards the Acolyte Runner to get the heck off of Faline Throne. Out of Faline.
The scene ends with Isol putting his hand on, like, as the ship is taken off, putting his hand on from behind, like the seating situation. He's like sitting down behind him, and he puts his hand on Nil's shoulder and goes, thank you for pushing me to do my best. And scene ends.
Oh, and there's like a little troubled look on Nelmal's face for just a flicker of a moment. Good. Let us take our commercial break here at the midpoint, and it is 27 after, so let's take a 8-minute break just because I like easy math. So at 35 after, we will meet back up again, and I'll do a quick interstitial, and we'll pick up with Nelmal. Did either of you guys watch Star Trek Discovery, the new Star Trek show?
Yeah, I watched the first, I think, 12 or 13 episodes. But as soon as it, like there was this, what's it called? Like alternative dimension or something where everything was switched around. And I hate this shit. It gives me the willies because
mirror stuff. Yeah, I mean it was seeded in all along. They just finally started to reveal it and lean on it.
it's the worst. I mean, it seems as is every decision is meaningless that they do because it's the mirror universe anyway. So who cares?
What show is this?
Star Trek,
Uh,
the new one, Discovery.
Yeah, I haven't watched any of that show at all, just because I don't have access to it, and I think it's ridiculous that every channel is now having their pay thing, which makes cable TV worthwhile now. Like, why did we get rid of cable? Because a la carte is just so fucking ridiculous. Anyways, it's my rant.
I think we dropped cable mostly because we hated the advertisement.
Yeah, but you still have advertisement. Like, Hulu's the only thing Hulu and Netflix are the only thing I pay for, and it's, I don't know.
I hear you. Yeah, I have CBS All Access specifically for my wife loves Big Bang Theory. I'm sorry, she does, and I don't mind it. And then I like Star Trek Discovery, even though she's a Star Trek person, she just doesn't want to get into another show, which is sad because I enjoy Star Trek Discovery, but I approach it like a different kind of show than the older Star Treks. Like, this is definitely not Star Trek Next Generation.
But you know that there will be a new show with Sir Patrick.
Oh my God, yes. It's gonna be the best. I'm so excited.
Yeah. I'm really curious what it will be.
Is it a TV show or a movie?
TV show.
I think it's going to be a TV show.
Stewart?
Yes.
Stewart. Yeah. As Jean-Luc Picard.
Oh.
Yeah. You're like, oh shit, now I gotta get CBS All Access.
Is Discovery within the same time frame where Jean-Luc Picard could still be alive?
No.
Okay.
It's the short version.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a longer answer, but we'll talk about that after the game if you like. So we are back from our commercial break. I think there was a commercial from Blastech, who are the makers of a lot of Imperial blaster weapons, and keeping the galaxy safe for you. And there's a bunch. It's all humans in the whole show, like the whole commercial. It's all humans. Obviously, was shot somewhere on one of the core worlds, maybe even on Coruscant itself. And we come back, and so let's get back to our lovely order, because I had an idea, but then that scene happened, and I'm like, no, I think I'm just gonna ride with going forward. So you guys get on to the Archmage. And now it is time for Neil Mao. It's your scene. Would you like a character or plot scene?
This is going to be a very painful scene. We'll have to work it through. So yeah, it's of course a plot scene because it's about whether it's what will Neil do. So the scene, we come in to see the ship's gardens. I know we have a gardener, but I think he isn't there. It's mostly Neil Mao and Anyan, unless someone else will not drop in by fan mail. And I think it could be taking place like directly after to put a pressure on Neil, because why not? So we see him standing in this like green space gardens. We see this like rows of various plants, and then are the rows of some vegetables being grown, and we hear the pouring water, and we see Neil standing over some kind of like a sink. And even though he was using sniper rifle, his hands weren't dirty. He just like washes them like repeatedly, and because yeah, he's going through this like, am I a rebel? Am I a murderer? Did I like shoot my own people? Are there not my people? And then to put the nail on it, we see like Twi'lek's hand. We never gave Annie Ann the color, I believe. I think she's the red skin one. They're
Okay.
kind of like red.
I love it.
We need to picture her as the super hot Twi'lek, of course.
Yes.
So let's make her red. And us, he's like, oh yeah, it's gonna be. I will relax now. But then on the sink we see she puts his like secret communicator that he uses to contact his the Empire. And then she take a step back, and we see her doing the move as if someone is like drawing a gun from a holster, but we don't see the gun. The camera is like shot from above Neil's shoulder, where we see Anian from here up. So we don't see whether she's holding a vibro sword or a blaster. And yeah, and then she says so. And then or do you want to like take it over because you know what she's?
Yeah, I know what line's coming.
Yeah.
So tell me who you really are. And then she holds up in her left hand. She's right-handed. Holds up in her left hand the little secret communicator. And of course, like because it's TV audience, it's got a little like insignia in there. Like she's removed the bottom half. You can see there's Imperial insignia in one of the hidden compartment type deals.
Yeah. And he like stands over the sink, like just like turns off the. It's like a super old sink. He has to like turn it off.
Yeah,
finally.
Cool.
And then he like faces her, and he says, "Whoa! Wait, it's not what you think it is. It's like the High Command like told me to have it to. It's like the rebels told me to like play the Empire, to use me to contact some of their like secret agents and double agents, and I'm just doing my duty. I know it's Imperial and it probably like looks really bad, like I'm some kind of like a double agent or something, but it just like the rebels are are keeping secrets from each other like all the time. Like I just couldn't tell anyone. They just told me like not to disclose it from anyone that I'm keeping in touch with like the secret agents working on the other side as well. It's all how do you think we learned about this like parade and everything? It's like comes from this.
Is this where the cards are? Right here? Does she buy it or not? I think.
Yeah. That's
so.
why it's a plot. Like.
Yeah. Let's see how this goes. I don't want her to believe you. Sorry, but I'm gonna.
Nobody wants.
I'm spinning 4 cards.
Oh, it's so tough. Yeah. Well, I have to spend my last 2 as well, so I'm going to. I'm going all in with fan mail here.
Ooh, so you a total of 5? Well, you're using her, right? And you just refreshed because you said it in the gardens, so you can use her as a connection.
Yes.
So you got 4 plus how many fan mail?
2, because I only have 2 fan mail to drop on this.
Okay, so a total of 6. Is that right?
Yes.
In the last 2.
Oh. My edge doesn't work here, and connection as well.
All right. Anyone want to? Oh, ran out of cards. All right. I'm going to withdraw and recall all the cards. Shuffle them and There we go. Shuffle. I just want to say I'm really quite enjoying using cards. I don't normally say that. So that's fine. All right. And so 6 to you. Anyone using fan mail?
So just to like say what I think the conflict is about,
Mm-hmm.
what I kind of see here is that if I win, she buys it, and we move on.
Yep.
If I don't win, Neil probably has to like somehow kill her and try to sell it as an accident, because he can be found out. Yes. So let's just be clear. This is what we are playing here. Whether he kills his lover or not.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So I really wanted to, and if this isn't a good idea, we can pull back. But since we've established that Rook comes to the garden to reflect, I wanted to say that Rook was like strolling along and happened upon this, just kind of like watching from far away, this scene, like maybe thinking they were having a romantic moment or something. And then the blaster comes out, and then Rook's just watching.
Yeah, spin a fan mail and you're in the scene. That sounds awesome, and that's mechanically supported. So do that thing. I love it.
Cool.
Nice. Do you want to? I mean, you were going to throw cards in. Then you've got one card for you. You spending for any more? Rook?
I spent my last fan mail.
Okay, cool. All right, so one card just because that's your screen presence. Did you have any edges or connections that would apply? I don't think so, but I'm just double checking.
No, I don't think so in this case.
All right. I have to deal myself a new card, friends, because I got a Joker. So,
And for some weird reason, it says that I have 6 cards, but inside I only see 5 cards. It's weird.
that is weird. I don't know why you would only. Oh, you must have gotten dealt a Joker. I somehow accidentally took out the picture of the Joker.
Oh, okay.
Like deleted it because I was trying to delete the card from the hand. That's one of the things I was doing this morning. I screwed up. So I must have. So I'll deal you a new card. There you go.
Okay, now I see 6. Cool. And one of them is, and one of the last 2 is red, so you get 1 budget back.
So I get 1 back. Yay. Thank you for that plus thing. That's very helpful. I have, my friends, 3 reds. And ace high. Sucker.
So yeah, again, the most interesting result. I don't know how to pull the Joker. I just can't grab it. So.
I'll just steal it.
Steal a request. Producer wants to steal a card from her hand. Let it go.
All right, cool. And then I think I may have to recall that from hand. I think, or maybe I'll just. That's fine. Oh God, I've really screwed up. I've really screwed it up. This sucks. All right, let's figure it. Let's get back to this. You have 4 reds.
Mm-hmm.
And this was a plot scene, so you get what you want.
Mm-hmm.
But I have the highest card, which means yes, no, yes, but. So you get what you want, but your impulse is provoked. Oh God.
Mm-hmm.
And your impulse is be ruthless and dishonest.
Yeah. I'm trying to picture this in my head. What should be the result?
Yeah. What you wanted was for her to buy it, right?
Yes. Yes. I wanted her to buy in that I'm just like, doing this on the orders, and I couldn't tell anyone. My impulse is provoke. How can I provoke dishonest? Yeah, so I'm not sure how. Okay, so yeah, I think. And how does Rook figures out into this conflict?
Well, he didn't get. He only got black cards, so they were all low. So I think he's more of just an observer.
Okay. Okay.
As a
So
suggestion, maybe because you have a relationship with her, isn't it?
Yes.
Mhm.
So that dishonesty could be that you like pull the emotional card to persuade her to believe you. Like, you know that I love you and I would never lie to you or something. That could be a horrible
Oh,
thing to say.
oh yeah, perfect. So we see kind of like she initially like lowers the whatever she was holding for, and maybe yeah, the camera now show us because we need to see it was it's a Star Wars. It was someone like a vibro knife, and we see it's like vibrating. It's still not like turned off, so we know the tension is still there, and we see like Neil just like slowly approaches her, like embraces her, and just say like, you know, I love you. I rescued you from this transport, and ever since then, I was totally in love with you. And we see his face from like behind, from we see her back and his face, and his expression tells us that he's like telling this like really learned, perfect voice tone lie. We see it on the camera how he speaks it. You know, I would like never lie to you about this. Come on, I had a very hard day. Let's go and relax. And he just like takes the vibro knife, turns it off, puts it on the sink, drops the communicator into his pocket, and yeah, and they go and they wander off the scene. And as the last shot of the scene, like what is like the Rook doing over there? I'm like really curious.
Yeah, camera lingers on Rook. What's Rook's reaction to this?
I think Rook is just trying to figure out what is going on, because the knife is the only part of this that doesn't like make sense, right? And I think he's probably not super within earshot either, so he didn't hear the accusation. You know, he saw the communicator, but wasn't close enough to see that it was incriminating in any way. So I think he just like sees this moment and the conflict between like the tenderness at the end and this like threatening at the beginning, and I think he just has one of those like questioning "Ooh," kind of Wookiee head tilts, and just walks out and leaves them to their moment.
Nice, cool. So it is now your scene, Rook. You want a character scene or a plot scene? Again, we can jump forward time. I kind of think of this more as like a Star Trek Next Generation episode where we're dealing with issues, but there's a loose plot that's going on right now. It seems like people have given in to what to the crap that Neil Mao is selling. But
yes.
Yeah, what do you want to do?
I think this is later, and it's back in the bar with Rook. Neil Mao, I think, is probably at the bar already, and Rook is looking for him and comes up to have a conversation. Sits down beside Neil Mao, orders a drink from the Kaminoan bartender, and
Is this a character scene or a plot scene? I'm sorry, I didn't know.
Yeah. I guess probably a character scene.
Okay, sounds good.
So Nil, I heard you did good on the mission. Way to go. I'm glad I wasn't there.
Why?
Why am I glad I wasn't there?
Yes.
He
I thought
gestures
you were
over to
advocating.
the.
I thought you were advocating for this at the meeting.
Oh, I was just supporting the commander. I'm not all about killing the Empire either, but I do think they have to come down.
Yeah, we can see that Neil is like kind of like resigned and just said, "Yeah, another day, another mission done."
Well, that's good. But but that's not really why I came over here to talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
I just want you to know that if anything ever happens to Anani, you'll be the first person I come looking for.
He's like he was about to like drink Neil, and he just like put the drink on the table. And it's like, why would anyone happen to Anani?
I don't know. Anani's like a sister to me, and we've been through a lot. And I know that you and Anani have been through a lot too. So I just thought you should know.
So you just so you are just like kind of okay with Empire having your brothers as slaves and not hurting them, but you are threatening me without much reason over here?
I think at that provocation, Rook kind of lets out a low growl and says, "Look, I saw you in the garden. I don't know what's going on, but just be careful. Because if anything happens to her, you're going to have to answer to a Wookiee."
Oh God, is that? Oh, like my RPG impulse is like, does that threat? Is that a conflict? Do you feel it? No.
No, like
Okay.
Should the conflict be whether I come off as threatening enough or not? Like if I win, then no Mao. I don't know if that's really interesting.
Is the threat enough to force Nilmal to reveal something, or is Nilmal able to sell you on you needn't be worried about me? Like,
Oh yeah,
does
I like
make
that.
sense? I kind of like it. Yeah. Well, what's Nilmal want out of this? Because it seems like you're being accused pretty hard.
From this scene, I honestly don't know. Because my issue, if this is a character scene about an issue, my issue is a doubt whether Empire is like really bad and Rebels are the good guys.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like this way. So that's my issue. And Rourke issue is his guilt, which I tried to like hit it with this like mention of his brethren slaves. So I'm not really sure if we are like hitting any issue with the character scene.
Okay. Fair.
So maybe we just use it as a tension building moment and move on, or
yeah, unless there's something more you wanted from the scene. I think it seems like you wanted to show protectiveness over on Ani.
Yeah, and just build up some more like subtle.
Yeah, a little stew in the sauce. I think what I'm going to do then.
One question: I have an idea how to push it on, but let's set. Is it about Neil's issue this scene, or is it about Rourke issue this scene? Tell me that, then I know how to push it.
Yeah, I think given the spotlight, I would rather it be on Nil than Rook.
Okay, that's fair. I was about to tilt it and push on Rook, but yeah, let's keep it on.
I think Rook says, just to kind of add something to it, I think Rook says in the rebellion, we don't care so much about the violence. That's just a means to an end. What we care about is protecting each other and making sure that our goals are accomplished. Sometimes, yes, we have to do some of the same things the Empire would do, but we never, ever do it for the same reasons. The rebellion is a family.
Yeah, and Neil just like says, family or not, it's our actions that speak through us. We blew up some. We killed their commander and a couple others, and then this like massive explosion happened. Like more Imperial citizens died. Like this is not what family does. Family protects on its own. It doesn't go to attack others. We are right now. The thing with it, we played into what the Empire pictures us as, what Empire pictures us as. We were the terrorists.
I agree. We should have found another way. And maybe you shouldn't have opened fire on the crowd.
Yeah, and on this, like Neil just like, yeah, what would be Neil's reaction? And he says, well, maybe then maybe then you shouldn't be constantly pushing me and I don't know, showing me that nobody trusts me over here.
It's not that I don't trust you, no. I think that as a cell, we have to work together. I'm more interested in just making sure that Anani is safe and taken care of. She's part of our family too.
I think I don't see us heading towards a conflict here other than those conversations. I think you guys are doing a good job pushing on each other's issues, but I'm not sure where to go next here.
We can just leave it as a kind of tension building, adding some moments.
Good with that. All right. Good. So then next will be IG-78's scene.
Rich, can you remind me of the next in the series scene? It was IG-78 shooting at someone.
It was Rook screaming at IG-78, no, IG, no, and then we heard a blaster fire, the sound of blaster fire, but it was unclear if that was IG-78 firing. We're good at that. We do lots of that's what we do.
So let me think. I would love to have this very scene. I mean, one possibility could be that Rook told IG about his suspicion that that something might happen to Anani, and that in that case it might have been Neil. So maybe that something I don't know if that. I mean, that is totally taking away agency from Pavel.
The other scene I had in mind before we did that one was one with IG and Isol and Rook, where Rook just tells them what he saw. But I thought it would be more interesting to have the confrontation. But I do think that definitely kind of outside of what we see on screen, like Rook would have told the other two.
Yeah, cool. So IG knows. I think I have a plot scene, and it's with a Imperial officer that has been kidnapped,
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a major plot twist, and because of IG-78's background and knowledge of procedures within the Empire, she was ordered to interrogate the officer. Obviously, I want our spotlight character, or do I? Let me think. So Rook should be there, I think, because we have his voice. Pavel, do you want to be in the scene? Could be interesting to, how Neil would react if the officer is about to spill the beans.
Are we talking, of course, about the officer Garo Melnau, or just some other random Imperial officer?
Yeah, I think that. I mean, you shot the guy in the head. I think he's dead.
Yeah, but I'm talking. But you said Imperial officer. I'm
Handler.
thinking that the guy that I spoke to last episode. This is the Imperial officer.
Yeah. Cool. That is a good idea.
Yeah, I think so
So
too.
that either, to confirm that he conspired with you or something. But in that case, I think it would make no sense if Neil is in the scene unless you buy yourself to the scene.
Yeah, exactly.
So plot scene. Rook is there. Isel could be there as well. I mean, we have talked off screen, obviously, about the Neil situation. And we are the A team, so it would make sense if everyone except Neil is there during the interrogation. And I think it's somewhere in the bowel of the ship.
I don't. I'm not opposed to it, but I don't see Isel being involved with an interrogation. Like, I don't see that, like, his personality being really fruitful in that type of situation. Like if he's there, he'd be holding back. So.
I mean, we have timid Rook and non-violent IG-78. I'm not sure if we are better equipped to have a forceful interrogation.
Right.
But it's up to you. So what do you think?
I mean, I can be there, but he would definitely be holding back. He's like, because he's definitely not. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe something will kick in and he'll speak up. I don't know. So yeah, okay.
So are you there or not? Because if you're saying you're not, then you're gonna have to spend a fan mail to get in.
No. That's fine. I'll be there because maybe
cool.
Yeah, because maybe something will push him to. Yeah. Okay. Go.
Okay, so we see the handler for Nilmao, guy by the name of Garo Melnau, and he is in your brig, right? And IG-78, you're in the brig with him because, what are you afraid of, right? You're amazing. And yeah, he says, really don't understand why I'm here. Okay, so I met with Nilmao. I've got some connections in the Empire. He wanted to get you guys free. He offered me some credits, pulled some strings. You guys got free.
What is your connection to the Empire?
I have some relatives. I know some people. It's a big empire. We're all part of it.
I was part of it, but I swore them off. What about you?
He's like he kind of shrugs, but he can't because his hands are his hands bound, or is he able to move around in the hands bound?
Oh no, this is I think it is a very intimidating scene. Like IG-78 has some kind of like the Empire sometimes does. The interrogation robot from A New Hope, like some kind of. It will be
needle.
lines and veils are in effect, obviously, but she has some kind of, I don't know, dentist instruments on her appendices.
Yeah, he's. I mean, I just live in the Empire, okay? We all do. We have to put up with it. It gets things done. Sometimes it's better to work within the system, right? Right?
You know that I don't feel pain. I heard it's a very unpleasant experience.
I don't understand what you want me to say. And he will
The
look
truth.
over at Rook, and then he'll bounce over to glance at Isol. You guys got to stop this crazy droid.
Rook lets out a nice, intimidating growl. He's got his arms crossed, like leaning up against the bars. And if the guy even understands Wookiee, he'll say like, "No, I think the droid's doing just fine."
Yeah, just a quick, let's say, time out. Pavel, I see your your concern, but I do think that, for example, you could buy your presence into the scene and shoot the guy before he spills the bean, for example. That could be, again, what are you willing to do to keep your secret a secret?
And also, like,
I'm not sure if I can in this system do that. I can just like I can just like walk in and shoot the guy because.
Yeah, that's what the fan mail buy-in thing is, right?
Yeah.
The other conflict could be about will the guy break or not, and then the next interesting information would be what do we do with the information? Do we go to Neil, and then the last scenes are all about his decision to either flee or join. Can he wiggle out of the thing again?
Like I said, my issue is doubt, not I don't know. My issue is doubt if the Empire are the evil guys and rebels are the good guys. So I'm not looking for like find out the spy, because if we do find out the spy, then I'm out of the next episode. I'm like out. There's no reason we can justify Neil being in the next episode if he's found out.
Well, not true. I mean, we could still be in the episode, just like any Star Trek episode where a couple of characters have gone down to the planet, and you got a bunch of scenes that are heading on, Star Trek, and then they're the people on the planet. So the show doesn't ignore you, but you're right. It kind of, I mean, on one hand, that is the solution to your major issue. It's they kicked you out. So what does your doubt do? It forces you to some kind of action, which is interesting. I like the idea of this scene in particular. I'm less interested in does the NPC admit you're a spy, and more interested in IG-78 and her choice to like not go into violence. And so that's where I found the interesting part of this is like,
how far is IG-78 willing to go? Would she like literally torture the guy to get to the information, or when does she stop? And then the don't do it IG-78 could be we'll see what the cards say.
I just want to interject that, I mean, even Nil not being in the scene, this whole episode has been a demonstration as to why Nil should not buy into the propaganda, including this scene. I mean, this whole, this whole episode has been kind of a demonstration of how the rebels are not good people. You know?
Yeah,
exactly.
It's been fascinating, but yeah, kind of, sort of. We haven't had any scenes to show you guys getting benefits out of it or people who've been on the downtrodden side. Now, we've had previous episodes where I think we showed that they were slave traders and there were Wookiees who were rescued. But yeah, this episode's been pointed about there's some bad stuff about the rebellion, and so this doubt makes sense. But at some point, we come to a head. And I think based on the fact that we have about 40 minutes left, I kind of like this scene. I understand probably you're a little nervous about where it puts your character, but I have some ideas. So I think we've got the conflict here is how far is IG-78 willing to go, right? Your issue of being ashamed of having been part of the empire is pushing you here. So yeah, I'm going to, based on where we are, and I'm spinning 5. I want to say what happened. I want to push things. So IG-78, how many cards? You get 2 for your screen presence.
I want to say that my background as an Imperial, assassin robot does, play into my cards. Haha.
Okay. So that's 3.
And that's it, I think.
No fan mail?
I've spent all my fan mail.
Oh, man, look at you guys. I love it.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm going to take 1 fan mail.
All right. You say you're spending a fan mail to get a card. Is that right? Just want to make sure I understood.
Yes. Yeah. I'm
Okay.
going to support IG on that.
Oh, fine. Whatever. I don't care. I don't need your support. Sweet. I have got 4 reds and King High. That is a damn fine pull for me. I'm pretty happy.
I have 2 reds and the king.
King
is
of Clubs
also
is
high.
higher than my King of Hearts. So
Nice.
you have 3 reds because you got one from Rook, but you have to have more cards. So do you have more cards, the red cards, than producer? No. Is your highest card higher than producer? Yes. No, but this is a plot scene. So you don't get what you want. What you wanted was for this guy to tell you the truth about Nil Mao. So you don't get what you want, but you keep it together. So I'm seeing this scene of you've got all these torture devices, you're threatening, nobody is backing up this Garo guy. He sweats for a bit, and eventually he blurts out that he says, "No, you don't understand. You understand Nil Mao. He's not one of them. He's one of you guys." And then there's a moment where you could inject him with some kind of pain serum, something along those lines, and you don't. You resist that impulse. What does that look like?
So I think it is obviously the scene from the teaser. So IG-78 is about to move in. I think it's okay. I hope it's okay with Joshua if he then says no, IG don't, and then she drops her arms, retracts the instruments, and says. I don't know. I told you I feel nothing. I feel no pain. I feel no emotions. But I do know that it is wrong to cause pain. Get the fuck out of here.
Nice. Nice. So Garo stands up under the scrutiny, stands up under the threat of torture, and eventually you don't go that far. You don't take the step that the Imperials most assuredly would have done. In fact, you may even have a few flashes of IG-78's memory capsules of things that you have done. But you aren't that person anymore. And that will end your scene. Isol, it is to you. Want a character or a plot scene?
I think this is a character scene. And I don't know if the time frame timing supports this. But I see a scene where Nil Mao and Isol are standing in front of, what's his name, Noct?
Yeah.
A very angry Noct, as the rest of the rebel cell are sitting behind Nil Mao and Isol, and Noct is chastising us for this over demonstration of force on the planet. Like, maybe he was waiting to get word to see like what happened before he decided to chastise us.
So wait, so Noct is chastising you guys for what? I'm a little unclear.
For the overkill on that previous mission.
Okay.
For taking out like too many people, and then the explosions and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, good. I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. Yeah, so Noct says, and he pulls up, and there's a little blue outline hologram, and it's showing from the holonet the big report of the murder of the Stormtrooper commander, and then a bunch of other people that are shot, and a few interviews, and of course there's a big head of the ISB who maybe Nil Mao actually knows, but isn't Garo. And Noct says, this was sloppy at one target. Now we don't look like surgeons. We look like we're as bad as they are. Wholesale slaughter.
Whoa! I said this before we went there. You wanted this to happen. You wanted to undermine them and their supply and their like position. Like, what's your problem now?
I agree. I agree with Nil. We need to show them what we're all about. We need to demonstrate. What was the population of the people on the planet? The Trandoshoran, were they?
Oh, you're talking about Feline?
Yeah.
It's a very populated planet. The Feline species are.
Oh, okay. So we needed to demonstrate to the Feline, we needed to demonstrate to the Feline that a revolt is possible, and that they have our support. And I felt compelled. I had to follow Nil's lead. I had to.
You try too hard, Isol. What are you doing? There was very simple. Surgical strike. Take out the Stormtrooper commander. Then he flips and the holiday story continues, and it talks about all of the explosions, and there are these like dead Feline bodies. And you know, Isol, that there were no. You checked. You guys had that conversation. So you see people who are being shown as victims of the explosions that shouldn't have gone that way.
That's not Yeah, that's not how I planned it. That's not how we planned it, right? I mean, we didn't want to kill any of the Feline. It was the Empire.
Noct steps over, and of course he's Trandoshan, right? So he's like Wookiee sized, and you're Bothan.
Tiny Bothan.
And he puts his big lizard, like 3-fingered hand on your shoulder. You idiot.
I know.
You gave them all they needed. Maybe you didn't kill those people. So they did. And now they have the perfect opportunity. Make us look bad. Feline may go to the Empire even harder now.
No.
Are we doing this a character scene or is this a plot scene?
Set up as a character scene. I think.
Yeah.
Are we hitting on it right now?
Yeah.
Like he's telling you that you aren't good enough. Like at this point, I think there's a possibility that Noct may want to just kick you out of the cell.
Yeah, I think Neil looks at Noct and says, "You don't put it all on Isel. You always treat him as the lowest member in our group. You never show him an approval for his action. So he just wanted to show how good he is. And now you're giving him shit for like over trying to show that he's a true rebel. Like you sent us on this mission to blow stuff up and kill someone. So we did it. And yeah, he kind of like proves like so like Neil says it to like prove that rebels are really the bad guys. You wanted us to be the terrorists? We were the terrorists.
Nice. I love it.
Also, so like kind of pushing on like issue of like anxiety of being like accepted in the group over here.
Yeah.
Yes, I saw that. I love it. Cool. I am spending 5 out of my remaining budget. I'm confident. And I feel like that's going to go well for me. Isel, you have a screen presence of Wait, did you change your screen presence? Yeah.
No, I have a screen presence of 1.
Okay.
3's next week.
Yeah, well, it says 3 now in the.
Oh, I didn't change anything. I don't even know what you're referring to.
Oh, okay, that's fine. I'll show you later. It's no big deal.
Okay.
Horse is having some connection issues. So you got screen presence of 1. Are you using any edges or connections?
I'm using all of them. My rebel soldier, my untrained force user, and my connection. To Lieutenant Noct. Okay,
but like, give us some fiction. Like, why are you using
how are you using the force? That's the one I really like.
Yeah. So he's untrained. So his force comes out as just kind of part of his like emotional state. So he's actually he's bolstered by Nils, and he's bolstered by Nils, and he's like angered. He's angered by Noct's doubt in him. So he's kind of, I guess, going against his anxiety a little bit, or just like really just getting pent up, and he like shoves him back, like to get him off him, because you said he grabbed him, right?
Yeah, he grabbed his shoulder.
Yeah, and he just shoves him back, but expecting nothing, he kind of like flies back into the wall and like smashes a bookcase or something like that.
Oh, God. That's terrifying. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And yeah, so that.
What about for Neil Mao? You are in the scene. You get your 3 cards. Edge or connection being used?
Yeah, just like, are we pulling the cards about one conflict, or are we having like each of us is like having his own conflict over here.
Well, what part is Nil Mal in the conflict? It sounds to me the producer is trying to push on Isil's issue of anxiety and the fact that he went overboard and was impulsive, and so that's the conflict on the table. What's Nil Mal's part in this? Do you want to throw cards or?
Yeah, of course. But this is like a different conflict. It's also very much about his issue. Like right this moment, Neil wants Lieutenant to say that yes, we acted like terrorists. He wants to like say that the rebels are also the bad guys. He wants the Lieutenant to admit to it.
I'm sorry. I want to add my two whatever they're called, my fan mail. Yeah.
Okay, so you're adding 2 more fan mail. All right, let me know if these 2.
Oh wait, did I already add them? No, I didn't add them yet. I should have a total of 6.
You should have 4 because you used all your edge connections plus 1. You're now spending your 2 fan mail.
So it's a total of 6.
2 more cards. Are those 2 cards, either of them red?
No.
Okay.
And I'm sorry for interrupting. No, because I felt
Okay.
like...
How many how many cards do you got? You got your screen presence of 3. What else adds to you?
I think, yeah, I already used Anyan. Can't count on her again. Yeah, I guess I will only spend my fan mail.
Okay.
So yeah, only 4 for me.
All right. I almost typed in 7. Whoops. That would have been.
Wish I could, but not this time.
Okay. Oh man.
And you get 1 budget back.
Oh yay.
Anyone else dropping some fan mail on this?
Yeah. Nope. Okay. I think IG88 doesn't have any unless somebody gave some to.
Oh. Yeah, I gave him 1.
Awesome. All right.
Thanks.
All right. I have 1 red card, and I am King High.
Again, the most interesting results for me.
Yeah. Cool. Wow. Okay. So I'm clear. Your Nil Mal is effectively pushing ISIL to say, yeah, we were terrorists. It's the right thing to do.
Not ISIL, but Lieutenant Noct.
Okay. Well, I definitely don't get what I want. Both of you have more red cards than I do. I've got a King High. It's a King of Spades. So that is a yes for highest card to Nil Mal. So this was a character scene. Yes. And so you resist your impulse, ISIL. And so are we saying that there are 2 different conflicts? Just making sure. So Nil Mal wants Noct. Okay, so we have 2 conflicts. So when we compare against the producer for ISIL and Noct, which is me, it's a yes, but. So character, you resist your impulse, but there are consequences. So you resist your impulse of.
But he has ace, so he wins it all.
He did?
He wins against you. He has like two.
Oh, I didn't see the ace. I'm sorry. You're right. So it's a yes and. So yes, you resist your impulse and everything goes your way. I didn't see the ace. I apologize. I saw the king and I didn't see the ace. So yeah, perfect win. And then when we go to Nil Mal, you have more red, but you don't have a higher card. So Nil Mal is a yes, but. And this is still a character scene.
Yes.
So you resist your impulse, but there are consequences.
Might be hard. Yeah, let's try to put this all together.
Okay, let's try to put it together. I think for you resist your impulse and everything goes your way. What does that look like for ISIL?
So he shoved him back, and he like flies back into the thing, and he almost like looks. he just kind of stands up and he looks almost the size of a normal Bothan. And he's like, I am doing everything I can for the Rebel Alliance. I'm dedicated. I am working hard. And I am following the orders and the suggestions and working as best I can as a teammate to this whole group. It was because of Rook that we were able to save all of those Wookiees, and it's because of Nil's brilliant thinking that we are able to show the demonstrate the strength of the Alliance, and I am not going to be intimidated. I'm not going to be intimidated by you. And he says, no, thank you.
Wow. I think Noct at that point just kind of drops down, and then there are consequences to this. So what does it look like for Nil Mal? You resisted your impulse of being ruthless and dishonest. I have an idea for consequences unless you have an idea for consequences. So he'll say, I think I'm going to go ahead and say, I asked you to assassinate someone. Not. This is a mess. We'll deal with it, but it's a mess. So for Nil Mal, do you just continue in support, or how do you imagine this going?
Yeah. So I suppose for him the consequence. Yeah, I'm thinking about, because my scene is next. I'm thinking whether we want to hit on this like scene in the jail or on something different. Yeah, I think I'm going to say that kind of like because of what Isil said, like, thank you, Neil. I think like in his mind, like Lieutenant now thinks, and everyone will think that, and maybe like Isil even says that, Isil, just tell me if you would say that I consulted with Neil my plan and everything. And now, because I'm kind of like higher in hierarchy, so Lieutenant just looks at me, at Neil, and says, you talked him into this. And you shoot those people. You are the bloodthirsty Krang that gives us this bad reputation.
Yeah.
You derailed the mission. He just looks at Neil, just like, oh, the blame is like on Neil.
Okay. Yeah, I buy that.
Isil totally actually thinks. Doesn't think that Neil's bad or wrong, that his command was, but totally thinks that this was like his command. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Okay. I like it. So then the consequences are that Noct is turning it to you, Nil Mal, and saying it's all your fault. And I think that's a good place to end scene. Just looking for time, and let's see if we can sneak in one more scene before we do our wrap up. So Nil Mal, you get the last scene of the episode.
It's perfect. It's perfect. So we do like a cut. It's like we see like a couple of days later. We are just somewhere like in a darkest space. There's like nothing around us, and we hear like the starfighter going, like firing blasters, and we see like this our little crappy starfighter that we have on our ship to protect from the pirates. We just see like 3 of them just like fly by and shoot something. Something explodes, and then the scene zooms in and shows like our ship like escaping, and like 2 larger pirate ships in pursuit, and like a couple of fighters flying left and right, and the scene actually shows that there is Lieutenant Noct flying one of those like fighter ships.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Isil is flying the third fighter, and Nil Mao is flying the The last one, because why not? The ship is on autopilot. I don't know. And
You've got a backup pilot who's not nearly as good as you, but
yeah,
he's the one who works like the night shift while you're sleeping. There has to be another. Maybe it's a droid. Yeah, could be something.
yeah, and just one thing, because I'm talking, I don't want to narrate it. Fan mail to ISIL for this cool scene where we were put in front of the commander.
Yeah. Is this a character scene or a plot scene?
I know what I want the conflict to be. I'm not sure how to characterize it into character or plot. I feel. So I will tell you what the conflict I want here, and we can talk what this is.
That sounds good. Yeah, we can start with a question.
Yeah.
The question.
So I totally see the conflict. The conflict here is whether Neil Mao ultimately turns rebel or starts imperial. So we know that he is now at odds with Lieutenant Nacht. So we see like Lieutenant Fighter being like pursued by another fighter who's just like shooting at him, and he just like turns back and says, "Neil, someone's on my tail. Get him off me!" And we see Neil like casually behind this other fighter. We see the crosser on the enemy fighter, and it's just the question whether he saves Lieutenant Nacht or just like waits long enough for the Lieutenant Nacht to be completely blown up.
God, that's good. That's good. I think that's the whole scene. I mean,
I don't know whether it's plot or character. Like
that's
I
plot.
really don't know.
I think it's plot. So the plot is, yes, you'd get what you want, or you don't get what you want. What you want is for Nock to be out of the.
I actually want Neil to save him.
Then I think it's your impulse. You're fighting your impulse then. Because your impulse is to be ruthless. So it's a character scene. Like I'm looking at the grid for yes and no. And it feels like you're trying to fight your impulse of being dishonest to save Lieutenant Nock. So I think it's a character scene. Does that make sense?
Perfect.
I mean, who else is involved? Because I want to see if anybody else can throw cards. You've kind of roped in everybody. So they could, if they wanted to, pitch in at some point. But I am spending.
Yeah, I would love to see like Rook and IG. Are you like mounting the ship guns, or are you like just flying some other fighters? We can have more than 3 fighters.
So I'm a little confused. So the question is, the scene question is, do you save not like is not going to get killed right now or not?
Yes. What kind of like whether Neil turns to like trust the rebel with every bad side they have and like saves Lieutenant Nacht, or whether he like lets him be blown up because this will like throw our cell into disarray and we will be able to like less trouble the Empire.
So which is success and which is failure?
Success is he would resist his impulse and save Noct.
Yes. Become more of a rebel.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so I'm not I don't see a personal conflict, so I'm gonna support his success. So that's a fan mail, right?
Yes. It's been a fan mail and you're gonna give it to Neil Mao. Okay, good. That sounds good. So what about, I know that there was at least one kicked over to IG-78 at some point, so you may have a fan mail. Do you wish to spend it, or you want to hold it for next session?
One fan mail to Neil Mao.
Okay, we'll give you that card, and we'll see how it pays off. What about Rook?
I'm going to just hold on to my one fan mail for now.
Okay, that's a good call. All right, here we go. And I've got some good stuff here. 3 red cards.
Please deal me 4 cards.
I should probably do that, I'm sorry.
I'm using my screen presence and I'm using my my Starfighter pilot.
Perfect.
Edge. No fan mail.
All right, all you guys are throwing into Neil Mao. So you have 3 reds. Whose 5 is that? Is that okay? Not great. Ooh, no more. So you guys don't beat me.
Mhm.
Do you have more red cards than the producer? No. Is your high card higher than the producer's? I have an ace of diamonds. It is. So it is a no, but. So you give in to your impulse, but there's a silver lining. Now, the give in to the impulse could be I'm going to leave knocked out or I'm going to leave Lieutenant Knockout to dry. The silver lining could be that somebody else saves him, or it could be something else. So what does it look like when you give in to your impulse? Like what do those moments look like as we see kind of chaotic, showing different pilots as they're dancing around? We've got these we're going to say that they are Nautilin pirates that are chasing after your guys in a dogfight. So we know that you can save Nock. He's somebody's on my 6. He's screaming in his clunky, ugly cargo fighter, and we know you can save him. What do we see when you give in to your impulse?
Yeah, I guess we see that Neil Mao is such a good pilot that he easily steers the starfighter, and he just like his crosser is like perfectly like target locked, and we see this like big flashing like target locked. He could like shoot off the other fighter jet, but he just goes on the like comms and says, just like fly straight for a moment. I need to get like a target lock on him.
Nice.
He does it.
You're hearing tone like boo.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
And then Lieutenant Nacht just like flies straight, like hit once, hit second times, and his fighter jet just blows up. And then Niels casually pulls the trigger, blows the other fighter, and grabs the radio and just says, "Oh no, Lieutenant Nacht has been killed in action. His fighter just exploded. I've seen him. What are we going to do now?"
Oh, so what is our silver lining? What is our silver lining?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't want to take it back and have Nox suddenly survive because he's not a main cast member. I think this betrayal is a thing that exists. Like it's just out there. So what's our silver lining to this? I think I know what the silver lining is. So
go for it because I don't.
Cool. So we have this moment, and then the heavy guns come online, and the Archmage is able to take out a couple of the Nautilin ships after using out the one that destroyed Lieutenant Knox's cargo freighter. The Acolyte runner is now destroyed, and you guys are able to come back, and then we see people in flight suits coming back, and then there's a debrief, and we see the hologram of Mon Mothma. And it's just you guys, just the cell. And we have Anani there and the 4 of you. And my Mothma says the loss of Lieutenant Noct was a heavy blow. The success you had on Feline freed up our people on Rhodia. And I do not wish for your successes to come to a halt. After consultation and reviews of Nox reports and your actions, I have decided to elevate Nil Mao to cell leader.
Thank you. I will. And he just like steps forward, almost like from Imperial line, just like right foot forward, just like takes a step forward, and just like this. Thank you for your trust. I will do everything in my power to live to his legacy.
And then that would be just like we have a quick reaction shot, I think, from Rook. What is Rook's reaction shot to this revelation?
I think we get another one of those head tilts, and he watches Rook walk with this kind of like piercing stare as Rook as Nil Mao walks forward, just like I've got my eyes on you, kind of a look.
Cool. And then what is the reaction shot from Isel?
We're on board now, right? It's just
Yeah, you're back on the Archmage. You guys made it back. You lost Noct, but no other significant losses to the Archmage. The pirates were foiled in their attempt to take over.
He puts his hand on Nil's elbow because he can't reach his shoulder, and he like makes eye contact with you and goes, "Yeah, I believe in you, Nil. I believe in you." And then like walks out. Yeah, if that's like people are kind of
such a good. I love that. I believe in you. Oh yeah, and that is amazing. And so we have like I'm doing a final scene. Then we'll do next time on. We have a non-speaking scene of on a knee buying drinks at the bar. And nobody talks about you becoming the rebel cell leader, right? But there's obvious this excitement and your bartender Moroshi, of course, or they hand off everything, and there's this excitement. It seems like people are trying to enjoy life and celebrate Lieutenant Noct, and there's like a hollow of Noct and people telling stories, right? And that will be the end of this episode. So let's take a moment. It's actually 8 till. So do you want me to give you guys like a minute or so to think about your next time ons? Sound good? Okay, let's just make it 2 minutes. I'm gonna take a quick bio. So we'll see you guys in 2 minutes. So Alejandro, your avatar picture of you as kind of a mad scientist, what's the story behind that?
Oh, that picture was taken 10 years ago and in at Disneyland. And
fun. Disneyland. Yeah. So that's the one in Cali then.
Yeah. I'm in Orange County, so I actually live probably like 20 minutes south of Disneyland.
Oh gosh.
And it's dreadful. I hate it. I don't ever want to go back. But we were on the train, and it was just, my kids were taking pictures of me, and I just ran my hand through my hair, and it's like one of the last times I had enough hair to really be able to do something for it. And I think my partner at the time was complaining that I always look weird or something, so I ensured that I did that for that picture.
All right, welcome back, guys. Let's do our next time ons. I'm going to lead off with the next time on from our spotlight episode, Nil Mao. What is the next time on from you?
Oh, you wanted Like, can I like narrate some short epilogue for Neil for this episode, or do you wanna?
Oh yeah,
or do you want me to do after?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So I guess the overall result of these cards tell me that we see a short scene of like Neil being now like super careful, and he just like sends only text communications, but he like receives like we see him in his quarters, and with holding this like iconic communicator that Anian accused him of using, and we see like a small hologram of Garo now appearing on this, and he says, "Very well, Neil, you performed your task accordingly. Now we can just get this cell and completely wipe them out."
Oh God, this is getting so sad.
So yeah, next time on, before I do it, I want to ask for clarification from ISO, because I'm looking at your issue, which will be highlighting next week, and I kind of don't understand the way you want to go with your issue. Can you like tell me something more? Like how do you see your anxiety about not being accepted in the gang and your role in the rebellion? Like, what is the trouble here?
Well, I think I think the episodes we've had have definitely demonstrated, or ISO has really demonstrated his planning ability and his like kind of taking charge, taking initiative, and everything that he's done has actually led to successes, even though he's given credit to everybody else. I'd like there to be like scenes with the Wookiees and what it meant for his saving them, and I'd like there to be like I'd like to really have him to really face his anxiety and acknowledge that he's actually an asset, and maybe that he should actually be the leader of the cell or something like that.
Definitely, he's so much better choice than Neil Mao, but I suppose next time on we see this iconic meeting room on a ship, but there's only Neil, and ISO just like walks in, and Neil like turns, and we can feel this Imperial officer turning to meet someone, but then we see Neil, and Neil says, "Thank you, ISO. Thank you for meeting me here. I have a very secret assignment for you."
I like it. What about Rook?
I think we're in some kind of outdoor scene, and it's all four of us. IG's in the background. ISO is like the center of the shot, and on either side of the frame, one side is Rook, one side is Neil Mao, and you can tell that Rook and Neil Mao are arguing about something, and then Rook turns to ISO and says, "Well, what do you think, ISO?"
Neat. IG-78.
So I would really like to see the Jedi in ISIL. So maybe they're stormtroopers with their laser guns aiming at us, and oh no, that's maybe a bit too dramatic. Let's turn it back a little bit. It's
Okay.
ISIL in his room. What's your personal set? Oh, you're in the cockpit. And I don't know how cheesy I want to go. Yeah, maybe ISIL is maybe the ship has been crashed somewhere, and we see ISIL closing his eyes, and then there's a vibration going through the ship. That's not from the engines.
Nice. That's a nice callback. I love it. I don't think it's cheesy at all. I love it. Embrace it. It's wonderful. Good choice. And then Isol, what is the next time on for you?
He's walking down a hallway followed by the Rooks, and he looks totally exasperated, and he finally turns to them and says, "Look, I didn't save you. Rook saved you. You don't owe me, but maybe there's a place for you in the Alliance."
Nice.
Wookiees, yes, I'm sorry.
That is our next time on. All right. That we're at time. I'd love to do feedback. So if you guys can stick around, awesome. If you need to go, totally cool. So here's I feel like several of our scenes clicked really well. I want to applaud you guys for doing a good job of making sure that we focused on Nilmal's issue. I think that it paid off a great deal by kind of circling things in rather than going off, and so that I really applaud everybody for that, for really buying into it. I really enjoyed the participation. I feel like and this will be my one. I'm taking all of them away. I'm selfish, guys. I'm sorry. So my one big thorn is I feel like I'm still a little lost when we have more than one player agenda in the cards going out. I think we worked our way through it, but I'm going to reread the book again and see if I can get some better guidance, because I don't see anything in the book that talks about I've got two main characters in a scene. They both want different things. And how do I, as a producer, adjudicate that? I'm struggling with it. I feel like we worked our way past it, but it's not one of those things that I feel fluent in. So that's a thorn for me to kind of take away. Good. So I will share. Thank you for letting me get on a bully pulpit for a moment there. Let's start. Who'd like to go first for thorns, moments of confusion, consternation, anything that you'd like to revisit and disappointments, anything along those lines?
I can go first if you want to.
Okay, go for it.
I would mirror what you said. I think maybe it's more like a wish for next time to maybe simplify conflict to the point where it's just, there's the person who sets the scene, and the conflict is about them, and then other characters can lend cards and everything. But I think it is the either I haven't read it carefully enough. It's probably not in there. It's probably really meant for the character who sets the scene, who has the conflict. Other characters can give cards and everything, but they're not supposed to have their own agenda or their own goals in the scene.
Maybe so. Like,
can I push back on that a little bit? Because if we look at the last scene that Pavel and I had, I thought that was a really excellent execution of two different agendas within one scene. I mean, yeah. So I have more to say, but I'll bring it back to my my turn. So
I don't disagree that in that particular scene, you guys helped to work through it, and I give you a rose for that. But I, as the producer, did not feel fluent in like, how should this go? Like, it's one of those things where we worked through it, but I almost felt like we went up above the rules as I understand it to make it work, and I appreciate that. I just wish I understood how PTA wants me to do it, and I don't yet. So of course I appreciate that. That's a valid and a good thing to think about. Any other? Who would like to go next on Thorns? Not any other, but who? You all have to go. I force you. I'm mean.
I'm not sure if this is a thorn. It's also like the way I understood the rules is that the person framing the conflict makes the conflict about his character. And well, I really appreciated you guys framing the conflicts. Use your opportunity to frame scenes to make conflicts about Neil, which I will totally say in roses. I'm not sure if this is how the system should be played, because although, however awesome it is, we didn't see much of other characters and other conflicts. And yeah, that's the thing. I'm not sure. Can you frame conflicts about other characters' issues and plots rather than about your own? That's what I'm not really sure.
So I'll just say from my experience of playing it with different producers, yes, you can make it about someone else's conflict. You can even say, I know it's my turn, but I'm handing you the scene. So it's either way, like you can either hand them the scene or you can try to frame up a scene with them as the focal.
Okay.
It's weird. And I can't even say for sure if it's very clear in the rules.
Can I interject?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this game is meant to be played over 5 or 9 episodes.
Yep.
Within 5 or 9 episodes, each player has one. What are these episodes called? One spotlight episode. So you'll have a whole bunch of episodes. You'll have a whole bunch of episodes that are where everybody's two. You know what I mean? They have the level. So you'll have most of the episodes will be like the way we played it last week, and then you'll have an episode that is all about one character. So if we were playing within a regular story arc, we would have four episodes that were like all revolved around each one of us, but then the rest would be a lot more mixed. So I think the reason why it seems like it was just suddenly all about Nil, it's because this was Nil's pop spotlight episode, but that's just not going to be the standard. It's going to be the more mixed episode is going to be the average, if that makes sense.
Cool. So Pavel, I appreciate that. Do you have any other thorns?
Nope.
Joshua or Alejandro?
My thorn, it's I don't know if this is a thorn, but like I felt like because I was last in the sequence, everything that I was trying to set up was kind of already addressed or dealt with or made moot because everybody set things up after me. So like when Horse set up killing the commander as the second scene in the episode, like I thought that would be something that would happen at the end of the scene. It's not a like I think everything worked out and I think it's fine. Like I'm not complaining about Horse. I'm just saying that I just felt like I was kind of dragging behind a little bit. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah. How do we solve for that?
I don't know that you can.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It just I was at the end of the line. I mean next week it's my spotlight episode, so presumably I'll be first. So I don't know.
Okay, it's something to think about. Maybe there's a way we can have a conversation.
I'm just trying to understand. Also, are you complaining? Are you thinking that the actual assassination happened too quickly? Is this the point?
No. So we set up the episode. We set up the episode, and just it might even just be a thorn against me. Just not like just figuring it out, but it was more about just I just felt like I was just kind of lagging behind everybody else. Like I felt like I was just kind of trying to catch up. I don't know. So
okay,
but the episode is great. I did have a lot of fun, and everything did come out.
No, you don't have to walk back. I think that's a good thing for us to think about and make sure that Yeah. Okay. Joshua, what thorns did you have?
I pretty much agree with everyone else's thorns. I see what Alejandro you were saying. Like there is a lot of, oh, how is this scene going to turn out so that I, who am about to go next, can react to that appropriately in an interesting way, like frame a really interesting scene. There's kind of a quick turnaround there sometimes, and that can be difficult. But I think the only thorn I have, which is minor, is just I would like to see more NPC characters in the final episode.
Yeah, I'm with you. I feel bad because I have all these like mental
Yeah,
cues for these characters and I haven't even gotten to roll them out.
they're
But
so
then that,
cool.
yeah, I know. I mean, like we did this awesome creation of the cast, and I was so excited by it. But then we're setting up a whole lot of off-planet scenes and very focused, and it's Rebel Cell, and that's good. But maybe I need to just within the 4-person slot, I just need to like insert one where I, as the producer, I'm gonna like do flavor text on the ship and interstitial stuff, and because I've played in games where the producer did do that, and it was really enriching, but I didn't this time around, and I feel like I missed it a little bit. So
Yeah. Well, and we did well with like Lieutenant Noct and Anani in this one. But even if there's some NPCs in the scene that really don't do much, like as long as we're kind of seeing them on screen, I just would appreciate that, I think.
yeah, I hear you. What roses did you have, Joshua?
Um, I am really glad that like the system is starting to like sync up. I thought we had some really good scenes this time. I really liked the way Nil Mao's character turned out. I was kind of rooting against him being a rebel for most of the episode. So good job, Pavel, for role playing that really well. And Rose to you, Isol, for being this like very, I don't know. I love Isol so much because of how I don't like. You're a contradiction, right? You act this one way because you think A is happening, but really B is happening every single time. Like you never really it feels like Isol as a character doesn't really understand everything that's going on and is really just like supporting everyone, but it ends up being really interesting. And I thought all the scenes you were a part of were like you added a lot to those scenes. Yeah, and I'm glad that we're having this kind of. I think the spotlight's really cool because we get to see a progression, right? It's not just like, oh, here's my one scene where it's do or die for Nil, and then here's my one scene where it's do or die for IG or whatever. Like we got to see this build up throughout the entire episode, and I think everyone did a great job of lending to that, so we could have a satisfying thing for Neil.
Cool. Thank you, Joshua. Alejandro, what roses did you have to hand out?
So I want to hand out a rose to each of the players, or a fan mail to each of the players. You guys, I think, did such an excellent job about making a scene about your own character, like that reflected Nil. Like the scene was about Nil, but it revolved around your own issues. I'm thinking specifically about like Rook coming up to um, Nil after the Nil girlfriend fight scene, and it was like he's timid. He's a timid, but he kind of stepped up right there, and it was really just the scene was about um, Nil, but also about Rook. It didn't detract from it being Nil's episode. And same with with IG-78 in the interrogation scene. That wasn't about like it was a character like development moment, but it was still about and revolved around Nil. And I love Nil's arc. I love that he is, and Like I thought we were really going to see him embrace the Rebel Alliance, and he just has not. I mean, he's just like, this was so like anti-Rebel Alliance episode, and I thought it was brilliant. I mean, it totally unexpected. So yeah, kudos to everybody.
Thanks, Alejandro. Pablo, what roses did you have?
Oh my God, guys! This episode was so amazing. I was full of doubt as I spoke, as we talked through it, but it worked out amazingly. Like, roses to everyone for like framing a scene about my character or with your character, using your opportunity to frame the scene to do it amazingly, and the way everything played out. Cards were kind of always with us. There was always like yes, no, yes, but, or no end result. It was like really the amazing results. I really felt it at work. I felt that we framed conflicts very correctly. Not can you do something, but will you do A or will you do B? And that's amazingly conflict, because it's not a deal about can you fly a spaceship stuff, but will you save this guy when you have the opportunity or not? It was like juicy, perfect. And yeah, I had loads of fun. It was really good. I hope I can return the favor next week to underline ISO issue. I will do my best.
Cool. Thank you. And I didn't say this at the top, but Joshua, if you feel like Rook resolved his issue by putting away, we should probably think about a new issue for you for the last episode, our last session. So think about that over the intervening month. Remember, on the Roll20, there are a list of on there, anger, anxiety, doubt, guilt, grief, self-criticism. Those are issues that you can think about maybe shifting to. It could be something around the other Wookiees. It could be anything that you like. And then last but not least, Horst, what roses did you want to hand out?
Yeah, I would like to give a rose to Pavel, because I think the audience, me included, expected him to be a good guy. We are produced by Disney, and even the worst character has to redeem him or herself, and you don't. You're just an asshole, and I love that about, especially because Star Wars is very often about black and white, and we have gray characters that in the end, like Han or so, they have a good heart. And it's cool to have, and I think it was not only your decision, it was also the cards that played that way, that we have a character that is not good at the inside. So that was really cool.
Nice. I agree. This was really fun. I was happy you guys have stuck with this, and things really started to click. Some of these scenes could only exist in Primetime Adventures, and this is where the system to me is really, really fun. So I'm looking forward to wrapping up our mini series next week, you guys, as we get to see how ISIL is framed in the Spotlight episode, and we'll finish things up. Thank you guys so much, and have a good afternoon or late morning there for our West Coaster. Thank you guys.
Yeah. Thanks. Have a nice week.